and identify the beats.
1, 2, 3.
But that was too soft.
Hey, welcome to Public Domain Theater. I won't belabor the introduction too long so we can watch some public domain stuff. But we have Juliet, Nessa, Jay, Al, Jory hanging out. We're just going to talk over some old and gold content. Yeah, hang out. It'll be fun. Let's go. First up is Superman from 1941. This is a Fleischer Studios animation that went into public domain, I believe, because DC forgot to, check a box or whatever when some rights were happening. So now it's in public domain for us.
All right, let's get this started.
How many different people do you think have had to draw that mountain over the decades?
It's had some custom versions for sure.
So many.
At least 17.
Plus all of the ones put up around Kings Island and everything. The Paramount theme park.
Oh, yeah. You're so right.
Formerly Paramount theme park. The Magnetic Telescope.
Ooh.
Arrangement with
So this
Action
will be
Comics.
This is kind of a blink and you'll miss it cartoon. I think it's like 7 minutes, something along those lines. Pretty basic story. I think a lot of the effect animation looks great, but there's one thing that I don't think looks great about this. Let's see if y'all key into it. The same thing that I think looks terrible.
Hell yeah, we got a train.
Could we get more
volume, more oomph from the video, Jory?
I'm playing around with it.
Yeah, does this have a Snyder cut?
Yeah, but it's not public domain yet.
Alright. Do you hate Theater Lifetime then?
Oh, Victoria, I think I forgot to introduce you as well.
It's okay.
You're at the bottom of my screen, and so you were cut off.
That's alright. I was gonna let it go. But thank you. I appreciate it. I love how you can see the texture of the paint, though.
I still think it's pretty
Yeah, it's very... The colors are really great as well.
Lois looks like she's from a different cartoon. Like,
Yeah.
Bad idea.
What are you talking about? Her eyes are wrong!
Yeah.
But those fireball effects and stuff, those are amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty kick-ass.
I love that we can get scans of these to where, because no one knew cameras would be that good, we can see the different layers of the animation cells.
Perhaps almost as important to you as my ambitions are to me. But
You request that I give
So
up my
Fleischer
experiments.
Studios, same folks that
Experiment
did
with
like
accommodation of
Popeye
the
and
breeding
all of this,
and
so
is impossible.
I had to be
Those dreams
selective
will
in my choice
The
of which of
commerce
these
of
Superman
alchemy
shows to
will
do,
be
because if you've seen
my
some
goal.
Popeye
Under
stuff,
my
you know
control,
that
it will be brought within
there's
a
some
mile.
racial insensitivity built into the bones of Fleischer Studios, but luckily this
I
villain
have
is supposed to be German, and that's one we can do.
Thousands of lives. Yes, and even at the possible cost of those lives, I shall continue my experiment.
Yeah,
Got a
I
big
can
old
attest that every astronomer that I've ever known wears a lab coat like that.
Yeah.
Stop!
Are some of these animations rotoscoped?
Probably would have been. I mean, that's a technique we have known about and done. It's about as long as we've done animation. We've rotoscoped things, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was used here.
I feel like, especially when we saw Lois earlier, like, the men are rotoscoped and the women are just kind of like freehand, like, flopping around.
Facts. I don't know if it's true, but I've decided that it is.
Well, they can't,
I
they
would
can't
not be
hire a woman
surprised.
to do that because that'd be gay.
Well, we can't. It's harder to like make our pretend ideal waifu if we rotoscope one.
So I assume this would have been true in Fleischer Studios, because it's true of many other studios at this period, that women would have actually done a lot of the tweening animation work, which is to say, you know, some storyboard artist does the keyframes of like the key points of movement in the shot, but a lot of the actual grunt work of doing the in-between frames was done by women because they could be paid less. But there's a lot of sort of unsung women heroes of early animation.
Just like programming.
Kind of like everything.
This guy really fucked up, huh?
We're spending a lot of time not with Superman.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's getting a lot of the runtime.
Yeah.
I'm in the theater booing and throwing popcorn. Where's fucking Soups?
Where is he? God, she does look like out of a different movie.
One of the things I really like are the lighting effects. I assume, to some degree, there's like actual lights being involved here. Some of it drawn on. But...
Through the cells, that's possible.
Yeah, they probably like flashed a light under the animation cells to get it.
Like this bit with like the meteor or whatever that is, like how it's like so bright.
I like that this is before they had like a million supervillains for guys like Superman to fight, and so his enemy is just a telescope that caused a problem.
Yeah.
Telescope that summoned a meteor, like
oh no, a
summoning
train
the
has
Toa
been derailed.
Tamathanui.
A
Yeah,
lot of that
exactly.
stuff.
Are you all right?
There should be more Superman, just like
All
Superman,
the other
quickly.
scientists in town have to be so mad at this guy. It's like, I can't get grant money in this town because every week some guy's building a telescope that kills people.
This guy is SpaceX. This guy is
That
Elon
top
Musk.
spin.
Is he dead?
That was a cool shot.
Yeah.
I hate to laugh at this, but
They really
God.
go for it. Yeah, they no holds barred. There's a lot of destruction. People are definitely dying tonight. And Superman was not fast enough to save them.
You know, maybe
This is why, like-
Snyder was onto something with Man of Steel.
You can't do this after 9/11.
This is why Metropolis is like doing so much better than than Gotham, because they have to rebuild that bridge every single month.
I thought you were going to say because of the strong magnets.
Also, the strong magnets. Take that, technically New Jersey. Gotham is in New Jersey.
Is that true? Wow.
Ooh, damn.
is that a real thing or is that a conjecture thing?
I remember it being somewhat true, because someone was arguing for it being in New York City, and someone pulled out some pretty discrete proof that they're like, no, New York City exists, and it's across the river from Gotham. You know, granted, nowadays that's Bloodhaven or some shit, so like...
Because Gotham is also a slang term for New York City, right?
I've always assumed Metropolis was like the nice part of town and Gotham was the bad part of town, but they're like the same thing.
They play fast and loose with it, whichever's right. I think they do whatever makes for the better comic book at that moment.
If you ask Christopher Nolan, it's just Chicago.
Pretty wonderful yourself.
Whoa!
Oh, baby.
That one's cute. Wait, he's
Am I supposed to?
Clark.
You're not.
Am I supposed to know he's the same person?
Yeah. So that's that. That's our first flick. Jory, I don't even remember what we had next on the playlist. What are we doing?
What was the bad thing? I think we neglected to identify the bad thing.
Oh, the bad thing was Lois and her terrible eyes.
Oh, okay.
So I went back to make sure I got these in the order you sent them. The next is Duck and Cover.
Yeah, y'all seen this?
I have not. I'm very excited.
Might have.
I gotta pull up the wiki to get the year, but so this is a U.S. government produced thing to show kids in schools. 1952. To teach kids how to survive nuclear blasts. Let's see how well they. Let's see if we're gonna. Well, by the end of this, we will be able to survive nuclear blasts ourselves, which is important here on the moon. So.
My dad told me about doing these drills once.
Yeah, so now I can almost assure you if your dad was doing these drills, he probably saw this one.
Well, unless they reused it, because they were doing it years later, but for, like, commie-related purposes in, like, the 60s and 70s.
I mean, yeah. So this is 50s, so generally a lot of the same scares. Might have updated some of the contents.
Oh, well, that got dark fast.
He's fine, he's in the show.
No, but the other guy wasn't.
It's fine,
but the
we only care about we don't care about the monkey.
Who cares about that guy?
The monkey is the aggressor.
Be sure
What's he doing holding that fucking fishing line with a thing of dynamite at the end?
To do the same thing.
That big-ass smile.
That's what this film is all about. Duck and Cover. This is an official.
They probably should do something like this for school shootings now, and
almost assuredly.
I'm sad.
They do. I know they do bills for
produced by Archer Productions Incorporated.
If they have cute turtles involved in the teaching process.
Meet all these nice people.
They definitely didn't have cute turtles when I was in school. I'll tell you that much.
We really can't blame you. You see, Bert is a very,
very
careful fellow. When there's danger, this is the
I like
way
his little bow tie.
Being hurt.
The character design's really cute.
Even saves his
This
life.
is like.
That's why these children are practicing to
Yeah,
duck
here we go.
and cover, just as you do in your school.
That's
We
going
all
to
know
save
the
you.
atomic bomb is very
That's all you
dangerous.
need.
Since it may be used against us, we must get ready for it, just as we are ready for many other dangers that are around us all the time. Fire is a danger. It can burn whole buildings if someone is careless. But we are ready for fires. We have a fine fire department to put out the fire, and you have fire drills in your school so you know what to do.
Oh, this old ass
Automobiles
fire
can be
truck is
dangerous.
I'm
so
obsessed with
They
it.
sometimes
Cool.
cause bad
I
accidents.
need it.
But we are
I
ready.
wish cars looked
We have
that
safety
cool now.
rules that car drivers and people who are walking must obey. Now, we must be ready for a
It
new
was cheaper
danger.
to paint them when everything was
atomic
black and
bomb.
white.
First, you have to know what happens when an atomic bomb explodes. You will know when it comes. We hope it never comes, but we must
This
get
is
ready.
like the darkest
It
parts
looks
of
something
me.
like this. There is a
Have you ever
bright
seen that
flash
British
brighter
one
than the
about
sun, brighter than anything you've ever
not
seen.
going on train tracks?
You are not
No.
ready. You did
I
not
should
know
have put that
what
one
to
in
do.
here. That sounds
It
great.
could hurt you in different ways. It could knock you
I mean,
down
technically,
hard,
shouldn't
or throw you
all
against a
educational
tree or a
films be
wall.
like?
It is such a big explosion.
No, no, they are very
No, but
expensive.
they should be. If the government makes them to
all over
teach you
town.
things, they shouldn't be like, "Hey, don't show that to people."
Usually it's private orgs that do it, and they charge crazy amounts
You
because
know
they sell
how
them to
bad
schools.
sunburn can feel.
Oh yeah, true.
The atomic bomb flash could burn
society.
you worse than a terrible sunburn, especially where you're not
Have you ever
covered.
seen the American one about not going
You
inside
and I
refrigerators?
don't have shells to crawl into like
That
birds, so
that sounds
we have to
intriguing.
cover up in our own way. First, you duck, and then you cover, and very tightly. You
They're
cover
really
the side
like-
of your neck, and your face.
Yeah, some of the kids are
Duck
slower
and
than the
cover
others. It's really
underneath
like
the
they're
table
kind of
or
hammering
desk
it in
or
here.
anything else close
I love
by.
too
No,
that he
she's
says,
not going to survive.
School,
He
they're
says like
talking
make
about
sure to
the
cover
atomic
your
bomb,
neck,
too.
and the kid they're showing
And he
is
asking
not
our
covering
teachers,
their neck.
How can we tell when the atomic
So
bomb
I have
may
a kind of
explode?
process
And the teacher is
question.
explaining
Yeah.
that
I
there
know
are two
the
kinds
English
of
phrase
attack.
is duck and
Wind
cover.
warning and
But
without
if
any
you're
warning.
explaining something,
We think
like
that
in
most of
spelling
the
it
time
out,
we will be
I feel
warned
like what you're
before
actually
the
doing
bomb
is
explodes.
covering
So there will
and
be
then
time
ducking.
for us to get into our homes,
Right?
schools,
You're
or
getting
some
under
other
the
safe
desk
place.
and then
Yeah.
like,
Our
ducking your
civil
head
defense
in.
workers, now our
Well, I
men
think
in
you're
uniform will
ducking
do
down,
everything
and
they
then
can
like putting your
to
hands
warn
over
us
your
Oh,
head.
before
the
an
cover is your
enemy plane
hands,
brings
not
us
Yeah,
the
there.
desk.
those
I see.
your hands
Okay.
are
You may
nuclear
be
blast
in your
proofs.
schoolyard playing.
Oh,
the
this is the
signal
bit I was
sound.
thinking of. Where just the bomb goes off when they're playing baseball, and they're like,
Signal
alright,
means
kids.
stop whatever you are
Oh
doing.
no, this is the
and
one where
get
the
to
alarm
nearest
goes off.
safe
But there's
place
like a
fast.
kid riding his bike, and he
Always
just sees
remember,
a flash,
the flash
and
of an
you'll
atomic
see it, but he
bomb
just
can come
goes
at
down
any time,
to duck and
no matter
cover
where you
so
may be.
fast.
You
The
might be
kid
out
needs a
playing at
medal.
home when the warning
You
comes.
know, when you grow up on hearing things like this, it's no wonder boomers kind of act the way they do sometimes.
That one kid was so disappointed. There was no urgency. He was just like, "Ah, man,
Go to the
move the
nearest
ball
safe
down."
cover.
It's like a tornado siren. It's the
Know
same
where
thing
you
to
are.
them.
Or ask an older person to help you. You know the places marked with the S sign?
No,
There are
I
safe
don't know
places
the
to
places
go
marked
when
with
you
the
hear the
S
alarm.
sign.
Oh, y'all don't
If
have
there is a
those?
Saw 'em
warning,
before.
you will hear
No.
it before
All,
the bomb
all for
explodes.
I don't know if it's just New York. There's all the old
and
signage
this
is
is
up.
very,
Like
very
my not my
Sometimes
elementary
the
school, but
bomb
my
might
middle
explode
school was
without any
a
warning.
nuclear bomb shelter.
Then
Although if a
the
nuclear
thing
bomb
we
had
would
actually
know about
gone
it
off,
would
you
be the
probably
flash.
wouldn't have actually
That
made
means
it.
duck and
But
cover
they
fast
still had all
wherever
the
you are.
signs from like
There's
the
no
30s
time to look
posted
around or
being
wait.
like, "Hey,
Be like
our
Bert.
basement,
When
pretty
there's a
cool."
flash, duck and cover.
And I
DC
hate
doesn't have the
Blood
signs,
Hunter.
but I am
Here are some
told
older
that some
boys
or
showing
all
what
of
to
the
do. The
subway
flash comes when you are not in the
passages
classroom.
in DC are like
This
former
is what
shelters.
to do if you should
Makes
be in a
sense.
corridor. You duck and cover tight against the wall this way. Remember to
Duck
keep
and
your
cover.
face
He's
back
having
of
like
your
fun
neck.
with
Observe
it.
this
Put a little
boy.
Try to
sass
fall
on that.
away from windows or doors with glass in them.
Billy
Then
was a bad
the glass
child,
breaks
so
and
he
flies
set him
through the
against
air.
the wall.
It won't cut you. You might be eating your lunch when the
Goofus,
flash comes.
Goofus,
Duck and cover under the table.
ducks in the
Then,
hallway
if
and
the
is a
explosion makes
fool.
anything in the room
Gallant
fall down, it can't
goes
fall on
into
you.
a better realm.
Getting ready
A
means
better
we will
realm,
all
yeah.
have to be able to take care of ourselves.
What realm is that?
The bomb might
A better
explode
room,
when
but
there
yeah,
are no
a better
grown-ups
realm.
near.
Goof, Gallant
Paul and Patty
gets
know this.
isekai'd and survives the
They're always
blast.
ready to take care of themselves.
Incredible.
Here they are on
Wait,
their
but
way
no,
to
they
school
actually
on a
need to
beautiful
die to-
spring day. But no
You
matter
actually need
where
to
they
die.
go
Oh,
or
yeah,
what they do,
survive.
they always try to remember what to do.
No,
if
this
the
is.
atom bomb
Huh.
explodes
Now
right
we have to
then.
think about. Now we have to.
It's a bomb.
Now I have to
Duck
do the
and
Goofus and
cover.
Galaxy.
Oh
my
Oh my god.
Paul covered the back of his head so that he wouldn't be burned, and Patty covered herself with the coat
Yeah.
she was carrying. They knew how
that'll do
to
it.
duck and cover. They acted right away when the flash came. If they had
They'd
been
be
at this
so
doorway
toast.
when the bomb flashed,
Like, I know
Paul
we've
and
already
Patty
made
would
this
have
point.
ducked and covered this way, like this girl.
She's
This
just
is
asleep.
a good place to duck
She's
and
just
cover.
taking a nap.
Yeah.
She will be safer too.
How often do you think kids
Here's
were
Tony
out
going
like
to his
out
Cub
late at
Scout
night
meeting.
when they shouldn't have been, and
Tony
then like
knows
a
the
police
bomb can
officer, someone
explode
shines a
any time of
flashlight
the
on them,
year,
and they just
day or
scream in
night.
terror and
Ready
duck
for it.
down.
Oh, here he is!
Duck
Watch
and
him!
Oh
Baseball
my god,
slide.
the slide!
That flash
The
means
slide!
Tony knows
That is
that it
the,
helps to get to
like,
any kind
winning
of cover.
baseball
This
catch
wall was
right
close
there.
by, so that's where he
The
ducked
scouts
and
That
covered.
kid
were
could have gotten
Tony
a
knew what to
stunt
do.
actor contract
Notice how he keeps from moving,
immediately.
and getting up and running?
Where is he now?
He stays down until he is
To
sure
Seraph's
the danger
question
is
in the
over.
chat, I'm pretty sure they did actually
The man
install
helping
these
Tony
sirens. Like,
is a civil
absolutely.
defense
Like, this was
worker.
a thing that was
His
around.
job is to help protect us when there is danger of the
Yeah, do you
atomic
guys
bomb.
not have sirens
We
that
must
go
obey
off
the
like
civil defense
very
worker.
frequently where you live?
No.
We
Because
must know how
for
to
us, it's
duck
every
and
Wednesday.
cover in the school bus,
Like,
or in
I,
every bus.
Not since I
know
moved to
Riley's
Portland.
had it.
Duck and cover.
Not since
Riley's
they
had it in the
closed
Midwest
their
one
plant.
on
Away
before.
from the windows fast. The glass may break and fly through the air
If
and
you're
cut
in
you.
Tornado Alley or what have
Sundays,
you.
Those
holidays,
kids are
and
just being
vacation
fused
time,
to the bus if that
you must be
happens.
ready every day, all the time, to do the right thing if the atomic
Be
bomb
ready
explodes.
all the time, every day,
Duck
for
and
your
cover.
world to end.
This family knows what to do, just as your own family should.
Don't go on
They know
picnics.
that even a thin
I really
cloth
actually
helps
think
protect them.
they were
Even
just
a
trained.
newspaper
They were
can
just
save you from a
training.
bad
They were
burn.
just training
But
gamers.
the most important important thing of all
Yeah.
is to duck
Julie's
and
just
cover
building.
yourself.
This is all a
Especially when
conspiracy
your
to build
clothes
video
are not
game
covered.
reflexes.
No matter
Real life
where
is
we
a
live,
cover shooter,
the city
I
or the
guess?
country.
Yeah, no, just decades in
we're ready
advance.
all the time for the atomic
To get your
bomb.
KD ratio up,
Duck and
duck
cover.
and cover.
This was
That's
my
the first
Gears
thing
of
to do.
War.
Duck and cover. The next important thing to do after that is to stay covered until the danger is over.
They're
Yes,
just dead.
we must all
How-
get ready now,
Oh,
so we
when
know
the
how to
danger
save
is over.
ourselves if the atomic bomb ever explodes near us. If you do not know just what to do, ask your teacher when this film is over. Discuss what you could do in different places if a bomb explodes. Older people will help us as they always do.
Which year is
There
this from
might
again?
not be any grown-ups around. When
Like
the bomb
52?
51 or 52.
Then
My sources
on
are
your
saying
own.
different things.
Remember what to do, friends. Now tell me right out loud. What are you supposed to do when you see the flash?
Duck and cover.
Duck and cover!
Duck and cover.
It's a
Oh,
shame
sorry.
we don't have a cartoon duck and a cartoon turtle to be duck.
It would have brought it all
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
This
Huh.
has been
Well,
a
we have a story
presentation
on
of
Queen's
the
to blame for
Library
that,
of
apparently.
Congress. Visit us at loc.gov.
Thank you, Library of Congress voice. So what we have next, we've got some, we got a little bit of it in this one. We're going to get full live action in the next one. This is an early TV show. It's actually an adaptation of a late Golden Age radio drama show called Dangerous Assignment. This is a TV show called Dangerous Assignment. It's like by the numbers spy drama. Don't
Okay.
expect anything too surprising. We're just gonna we're gonna see some. We're gonna go off to distant Europe, and we're gonna be stealing some microfilms. We're gonna have a good time on this Dangerous Assignment with Brian Donlevy as what's his name? Steve Mitchell, I think. We'll see. He'll say it. The credits guy. Or the credits themselves.
I love guys with two first names.
Yeah.
Fun fact about the Library of Congress, I've snuck in there twice.
Whoa.
Oh.
Are you allowed to say on screen what the circumstances were?
I think that's more podcasting material than...
Sure.
Donate to find out.
How's the statute of limitations on that?
The same intro music that was on the radio show. I don't know. I think it's catchy. I think it's better than the actual show. The TV show's a little hard.
It kind of sounds a little like Careless Whisper.
I can see some melodic similarities.
Speaking of theme songs and copyright, do you know what's still copyrighted all these years ago? Dragnet.
Oh yeah.
Dragnet, really?
Yeah, because I was like, there's no way they still have like the bum ba.
But maybe she didn't like the
Really?
A lot
I
of
needed it
times,
for
original music from stuff ends up copyrighted longer than the media itself. That's true of. I don't think we'll get to it. I had it on as like a bonus. There's a feature-length movie that I had on there just in case we need to fill time. That's an example where it's from the 70s, so normally it wouldn't have been public domain, but they literally forgot to put the circle C symbol anywhere in it, and so it fell out of it fell into public domain, but all of the music is still copyrighted original productions. So there's weird stuff like that.
It would be insane if every song had to like end with like, and by the way, this is copyrighted still forever. Had to work it in somehow.
A man by the name of Majak. He's a representative from
Watermark.
Belva's country. He's flying to Barcelona. He'll meet you at the Hotel Granada. Now, this Majak can be a lot of help to you.
I always wonder what this guy's like
terribly
27.
patriotic, but a real hot-
Yeah.
Those elderly time.
Get over there,
People
Steve.
look like shit
Work with
back in the
Majak.
day.
Look, when you've been smoking since you were 4 and downing a fifth of whiskey since you were 6.
What have you been ducking and covering the entire time that you're old enough?
When they
It'll
stop
do
putting
a number
bloodletting
on you.
in your lifetime.
So, Majak in Barcelona? Question mark?
Yeah, it sounds right to me from the first time I watched and kind of paid attention to it. This is also 1952, by the way, so you could have seen this the same day you saw Duck and Cover.
Wow, what a day it would be.
The guy who may wind up getting the needle is myself. It's Tuesday when I arrive in Barcelona.
This airs as a
I take
double
look at the
feature.
size of the place and I realize all over again what a job I
Cinematic
have on my
parallels.
hands.
There are a million places a guy could hide in a town this size.
My grandfather had a thing where he could, like, basically any movie, old movie that was on, he could be like, that actress was in, like, Bing, 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 Bing. Like, even, like, deep into Parkinson's, he could do that.
That's cool.
And, like, I asked him about it one time, and he was just like, yeah, it was the olden days. There was nothing to do, and it was the one room with air conditioning, and it cost a nickel. I went to see every movie that existed.
The entertainment industry was like one of the few industries that grew throughout the Depression because, like a lot of the reasons you're saying, and also just, people need an escape from things, but also it was just a nice place to go, relatively cheap.
I do.
You know what that also means then?
I do want to know if even back then, if dads would walk into the room, see this on TV, and just stand there with their arms folded the entire runtime.
Well, that's what the back of the movie theater's for.
If there was literally a point in time where you could be like, oh, so you're into movies? Well, name every movie ever, and like you might have actually seen every movie ever.
I like this move with the guy with the gun behind the door. I feel like there's some whole. I feel like you could just kick the door and startle the guy, right?
Yeah. Gotta pass your ID through the crack.
Yeah, it's cute.
The door jam.
Either a very thin gun nozzle or a very thick door jam.
It just got out of the pool.
Jack? Yes.
Just put it in your pocket.
Is all about?
Don't turn the safety on.
I am very sorry, Mr. Mitchell.
It's for cowards.
My present situation
These men look too similar to one another.
Right? I was like...
Well, that's why they gave him a hat.
Yeah. They have so many different colored suits.
Who's trying to kill you?
In each case, I did not have a close look at the would-be killer.
When the guy on the left first showed up on screen, I'm like, oh, this is how our main character dresses in Barcelona now. Like,
however, their efforts are doomed to failure. For I will find Gil.
They'd only invented one type of guy back then.
I have only just
apparently.
I do know that Gilba has no friends nor connections here.
Well, that's going to make it tougher. I have a lead.
So this is kind of a rarity in this era. Sometimes you would have it, but this is the same actor, Brian Donlevy, who played Steve Mitchell in the radio show. Who's playing him now on the TV show. There's another. I find him. The casting makes way more sense with just his voice. Like, I feel like he doesn't look the part of like kind of super spy, but if you like close your eyes, you can feel it.
Know him?
Totally.
Oh, he's probably some kind of a gypsy fiddle player. He's the one.
Actually, interesting. I hadn't thought about the fact they had multimedia franchises back then.
A lot of them they are particularly in this period where a lot of stuff gets transitioned over from radio into TV before a lot of shows created just for TV even have the time to like run up, like we already have the scripts, we've already got the concept, we just need to fill airtime kind of deal. So a lot of late radio shows became early TV shows, Dragnet being another example.
Shout out to the George Burns and Gracie Allen, Max at the House coffee hour. That the bridge over.
We worked together.
It's kind of grim to think. It's grim to think that the modern version of that is like an audio drama podcast that is made by a guy who works for Netflix, and so he gets a one-season Netflix adaptation that no one watches.
I love today. I love now.
Yeah. I love now. Here and now? Oh, even better.
Hey, sometimes it's Amazon.
What do you think the equivalent to like bitching on Twitter about the latest adaptation is in 1950s?
Writing letters to the editor.
Wait. Ooh, this is a real thing, right? I'm gonna look this up real quick.
I want to know if the Dangerous Assignment stands just lost it at the depiction of their favorite guys.
I love. I don't know how often this happens in public-facing things, but I love when someone says a funny thing and Juliet goes, "Wait! You always know something good's coming."
Okay.
Oh no, they both got hats now.
Is everyone familiar with this song, Anything Goes? where Cole Porter is like mocking Eleanor Roosevelt for doing mattress ads on her podcast.
Oh.
It's a wild thing that is true. Of course, it's not a podcast, it's radio. But so Mrs. R with all her trimmings can broadcast a bed from Simmons, 'cause Franklin knows anything goes.
We need more of this. I desperately need someone in the world to write a song being like, "Stop selling me Huel. It's weird, gross chalk."
But like, if it's like Jill Biden selling you Huel ads in between your YouTube shorts.
You're Xavier? Right, solid. Xavier Kraus.
Again, I love now.
But like now, it was always. We've always been.
It's always been now.
So what's with wanting
It was now then.
We understand that you spotted
Before podcast, you just go see it. Before podcast, there was radio. Before radio, you just go see a guy in a tent.
Yeah, listen to someone talk at you.
Before the Liver King, there was that guy who would sew goat stuff inside of you.
He was also called the Liver King.
Oh, he was? Man. Before the Liver King there was the Liver King.
And before you went to see a guy in a tent, there was, they drill a hole in your head and then you just see things. You see all sorts of fantasia.
Never works.
That's why I can't
Just going and seeing a guy is the baseline. And once the once the society crumbles, we're all gonna be in great shape because we all love to talk so much. we will all be the storytelling community leaders of our societies.
Not me. Bad news about the end of the world.
Tall redhead used to sing with the outfit.
Now, why does this guy look like Woody Allen?
She doubled on bass.
That is.
It is. I mean, it could be. You know what? It could be for all I know.
Yeah.
I have no sense of time.
We're wasting our time. Are you sure you did see
That about checks out with the age difference now between him and his wife.
Wearing them, so
I don't know. Maybe it's the way
we're gonna be in trouble.
Big story.
Yeah, I met Ella because my piano needed tuning. So the other day, my piano needs tuning again, you see?
I don't know if you've ever heard it pronounced piano.
An old beat-up apartment house down on the corner.
Could be. I don't recognize him immediately, but he's here for some reason, and he doesn't need to be for the script, so...
She was coming out.
I'm pretty sure just the way he talks, I'm like, I expect him to start going into like a bit.
Yeah, you're in the
I think it's the shape of his jaw and the shape of his glasses together, and him sitting at the piano seems very Tom Lehrer.
Yeah, I can see
who, like, you would think, okay, black and white, sitting at a piano, smiling at the camera, about to do a bit.
9 of Neil's asking the important questions. When are these two guys gonna kiss?
You know, I was actually thinking about that earlier because we were talking about the way.
This is post code, right? He takes one side of the building and I take the other.
Post what?
I work my way slowly to the top floor.
Post Hays Code.
Jack is doing, but I'm batting nothing. It's my 18th door.
I was thinking because, I was thinking how we were talking about how kind of the culture around me was always the same. I guess there were shippers.
This is way pre Hays Code.
Does the name ring a bell? No. Do you know any girl that looks like the one?
Oh no, wait, never mind.
That's it. I do know a pretty brunette.
It's impossible to say.
She's my girlfriend. Her name is Rita.
Oh damn, he's got a girlfriend.
She changed her name.
Sure.
That doesn't mean much.
So did a lot of gay guys back then.
He's got 2 hands.
You've got to establish that he's not gay, otherwise everyone in the theater's gonna get mad.
I think he is the best looking guy that we've seen so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or maybe his suit is just better tailored.
Yeah.
So the boy in the top floor room has stepped
No, I think he had something.
I hadn't told him the girl I was looking for had just come to Barcelona, so now I wait until he makes a move to spread the alarm.
This narration style is right out of the radio show.
Yeah,
You can tell it's not really necessary, but it's like a holdover. I like this shot where you see the shadowy figure with the brick or whatever that is.
Look out!
Oh, fuck!
Duck and cover!
Yeah, duck and cover!
What a way to kill someone.
Oh, for a minute. I thought you were the guy that... Hey, wait a minute.
And now they're wearing matching suits, different hats.
I tried to kill you.
Yeah.
I know him. His name is Emir. It is Gelba's private secretary. He, too, is a traitor.
Now, wait a minute. Let's not go off
But I
that
tell
track.
you-
I'm telling you. This guy, Emil, is our only way to find Ketty and her father. You go on below in case he ducks out that way. I'll give the roof another look around. Go on.
I want to know, like, the statistics for early film, like, what percentage of men are ever seen on screen not in a suit? I'm pulling this out of my ass, but that's like one of those things where, like, oh, well, you're gonna be in a picture, you have to look nice, and so, like, every man in early film is just always in a full suit.
I might be wrong, but I think there was also just more of an expectation to be in a suit when you're working generally in that era.
Yeah, that's fair. No, you're right.
Unless it's a movie, like, exclusively about, like, dust farmers or something.
Good old dust farmers.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
As Jack Donaghy says, wearing a tuxedo. What am I, a farmer?
Not a very thorough search of the room.
It's 1952. He's not worried about hidden cameras. He should be.
He's not rolling for perception or anything. He's just going.
They hadn't invented secrets yet.
I mean, is he looking for microfiche? Was that established?
Or was he was looking for the guy who threw the shit?
I mean,
Oh no!
Buddy.
Oh!
See, that guy was too handsome. That's why he's the murderer.
Oh,
It's a quick time event.
I was hoping it's one of those bad pivots to. Thank God I have Jim's peanut butter to help me out of this jam.
It was for sure a commercial break. Yeah.
Those old ads would be Jim's peanut butter and then a full women's choir singing about Jim's peanut butter for like a minute.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they would do it.
You know who invented that?
What, songs?
The technique of putting the advertisement in, like, the story of the show and everything. That's a Bill Goodwin technique. That's who I learned from. Bill Goodwin, who was the announcer and, like, ad representative for the George Burns and Gracie Mann show.
That's awesome.
That's neat.
Will your father be back soon?
He's not here. He will not be here.
All right.
That is the widest lamp in the world.
It
You can't wait
maybe
here.
is hiding a microphone. There's a lot of times in this era where stuff like that is happening because
All right.
microphones are pretty big.
I am Kitty Bill, but
yeah.
my father is not.
Or bigger.
Barcelona. He left for Paris yesterday.
Invented a lapel
You
mic,
stayed
idiots.
behind to send postcards?
Do they have boom mics at this point in time?
They should have, yeah. But
Okay, go ahead.
that's why I'm saying it
Try it.
might be for a microphone. This
You
is a
want my
little
name?
late to be
Fly
kind of
routine.
hiding a microphone behind an obvious thing in the middle of frame, but it was a
That's
technique
better.
that was used, early
You and your father and
early
Emil
film
engineered
and
this
probably
whole
still would have
deal.
been used, or
Somebody
early
offered your
sound
father a
rather
lot
probably
of
still would have
dough.
been used by this point.
Emil arranged your getaway.
Even
and
though,
the
yeah,
three
they
of
would
you
have
took off
had
for parts unknown with the
more mic styles at that point. Just depends on if they use them for that scene.
Maybe I'll have more luck with the telephone. Answer it, Ketty. I said answer it.
This poor woman.
I don't know,
came
it
back
might be a
from Barcelona.
robocall.
Don't try anything funny. I'll be standing right beside you.
He's the villain in her story. She came back from Barcelona, and there's just a man here in her
Right.
apartment menacing
Use
her.
your normal voice and hold the receiver away from your ear so I can hear too.
That not only does spam obviously come from the Monty Python, but it took it to be the internet for it to be spam, and then spam works backwards from the internet back into phone
The
and
important thing is I'm with your daughter and she doesn't get out
mail.
of my sight until I
Right,
talk to you.
like we would have had sales calls before, but we probably wouldn't have called them
All right.
spam calls.
Tell me where to meet you or else.
Right.
He's bluffing.
Don't depend on it. Make up your mind.
No, no.
Very well. I will be at the San Marcos Bridge. Ketty knows the place.
You know what's crazy to me is that the history of chain letters and like chain emails and how before chain emails there were chain letters.
Yeah, it goes back like 1,000 years.
And yet it goes back forever. Someone just being like the angels have blessed you. If you want them to continue their blessing, you gotta send this forward to 10 different people.
Yeah, there are like curses and stuff that
Were there chain telegrams?
Almost certainly.
There must have been, right?
I think the only thing that would have stopped that is it just being prohibitively expensive to be like, well, I guess the angels can go fuck themselves because I don't have 48 cents.
How few characters can you fit a convincing chain? Like
Morse
chain
code.
letter into?
Yeah.
Send!
Well, if it is,
That's all it says.
Yeah.
Do you think the people who sent the telegram sex were ever like, oh boy,
they're gonna catch me?
Oh, God. Alright, after this I have to look up for the, like, Morse code sex. There, that had to have been.
Absolutely.
I like
You're
these
just like-
shots on the like bridge here. Very dramatic.
This is very
Even though
cool, yeah.
Clearly also on a soundstage, but it
Yeah.
just looks cool. There's a chase scene that comes after this. Sorry to spoil. But it really feels like a soundstage. There's a part where you're supposed to buy that a jump is scary, and it's like, I know there's not a real fall under that. You're on the first floor.
Done to protect you, and now they've captured you anyway.
Protect her? What do you mean?
They found the guy
I threatened
that it was all about, or whatever.
Oh. The mystery.
The mist is really quite nice.
The United States.
It's actually just all the cigarette smoke.
Yeah, that's just what everywhere looked like back then.
What's all this business about
I
protecting?
feel like a film buff because I'm just like, I think this was probably inspired by the Third Man from the 30s. Like some of the lighting.
Thanks for the $100 donation. I'm gonna assume that was your participation in the chain letter to make sure the angels bless you. Thank you, Anonymous. You are surely blessed.
It's your participation in the chain letter to find out what happened to Derek in the part of Piranha 3D we couldn't read.
If you wanna,
Thank you for donating.
Yeah, if you wanna keep the chain going, exclamation point donate.
Yeah, I got it.
I don't know.
I'm gonna drop that in the
was
chat.
done by
Exclamation
written
point donate there in the chat
They
is
warned
your
that if I didn't
donation
do it, they
link.
My daughter
Thoughts on
would
this
be
man's
killed.
facial hair? I kind of think it works. The guy on the right.
There's something weird about it, but I can't tell you why I think there's
There's
something
an Abe
like
Lincoln shapeliness that's
a little
happening.
bit. But his face doesn't have that shapeliness, and so maybe that's what's
I knew I
off-putting.
was being watched. I even had no opportunity to give them to anyone who could be trusted. To leave them in my room would have been insane.
But you knew that
It's kind of like
was top secret.
between the hats and the beard, like it's kind of giving incel, like, you know, fedora incel.
That's my own form of.
But that's just where they got the inspiration from.
Like his voice and the way he's holding his like head and like beard and all of the stuff together feels like American doing a cheap European. Like this is just what a foreigner
Probably is.
like looks and sounds like.
Oh, no. It couldn't be a me.
Wait. By arranging the
Listening
escape
to, so there's
and
a
coming along,
great
he would have a
early
better chance to get the
radio
papers.
drama horror show
Where are the
called
papers
Lights
now?
Out. And I was listening
In a
to a
briefcase.
really like
Hidden behind a
self-referential
loose
episode
board in
called
Emil's
The
closet.
Coffin
They
in
will know.
Studio B,
Oh, I
and it's
tell you,
supposed
could
to.
trust no one.
It sounds like you're listening to an audition, or not an audition, but a rehearsal for a schlocky old radio horror show.
was he who
And in
betrayed
part of it, the
Oh.
guy is trying to tell the villain to
Mitchell
change
is
his
right.
dialect,
Bill,
and he's
I
like,
guess
I don't want specifically
Jack. Yeah,
Italian. I don't want
little
specifically. I just want vaguely continental.
Amazing. Is that the series you played at Extra Life? When we
No,
did
I
that block
think
there?
it's close. So I think I played Quiet Please at Extra
That's
Life, which was
right.
created by Willis Cooper, who also
Okay.
created Lights
So you
Out,
were the one
but
that
we
dropped
only
that.
have episodes of Lights
glad I
Out
missed
from
you then.
after Willis Cooper
Again, at the
stopped
window.
being the showrunner, because
You've
the
been of great
earliest
assistance,
episodes
Mitchell.
have been lost to
Well,
time.
what
So
happened
there's
to
there's a
Okay.
personnel connection between the two shows, but
None of you are of any use to
and
me
actually
now.
that script
You,
of
Yelva, have
Coffin
been
in
kind
Studio
enough to
B,
divulge the hiding place of
the
papers.
version of it we have is a reproduction because it was originally a Willis Cooper script that was redone later, which is why we still have it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Anyway, back to this. He's
Yeah,
got a gun!
Gun!
He was bad the whole time!
Oh, jeez.
Me first.
Oh, no, Father.
And he just shot somebody, but it wasn't
Whoa.
his own guy.
That was a good fucking kick to get that gun out of his hand.
Yeah, incredible kick there.
I know!
Me, Jack.
He's a
He knows
rocket.
where the papers are.
I thought you said they were in secret writing.
You don't understand. He developed it with me. He can read them as well as I can.
You take care of Emil.
More like paying for so many sets. Back to the apartment.
I'm sure they're all within a 40-foot radius of one another, too. The street and this, and the office supposedly in America.
Oh.
That old trick.
Got you again.
That old chestnut.
I'll go
I've avoided fights in Fortnite this way.
Never stops working.
Yep.
Relatively effective, like efficient use of the set that they already have.
It is.
That scene.
Yeah.
I was joking about it earlier, but I actually do kind of like this chase sequence. Because again, I also like this set, this like rooftop set.
And I love painted backgrounds. I wish they'd come back.
See nearly enough laundry drying on rooftops in New York City anymore.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
They won't let you do it anymore because of woke.
Yeah.
This is the part where I don't buy that they're high up. Isn't that a great scream?
That's like a Mel Blanc Bugs Bunny scream.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know what? I'm gonna be brave and say it. That was a better rooftop chase scene than Vertigo.
Thanks, Commissioner.
Whoa.
And Gelba has been completely...
That's definitely me when I, like, trip. Kind of, like, don't fall.
Hey, would you mind moving over, Jack?
I think
You mentioned Mel Blanc. He may be coming up later.
I love this piano guy.
He's back.
Well, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but maybe you can make a cat out of it.
What?
What? I guess. Maybe. You can't teach him old tricks, but you can make him a fucking furry.
Keith Richards was in this.
Wait, really? What?
It's really buried the lead here.
Alright, that was Dangerous Assignment 1952. We're heading back into the wonderful world of animation next. And we're actually going back in time. Because for this next one is 1931. We have a Looney Tunes. We've got Get Rich Quick Porky from 1931. This is a Porky Pig cartoon that also fell into the public domain, so we can watch it now. This one's fun. Just some physical comedy.
Let's see that. Let's see that pork.
Roll that beautiful pork footage.
Roll that pork. I like this era of Porky Pig. Just looks a little more pig-like.
My dad was apparently not allowed to watch Porky Pig cartoons because my grandparents were convinced that the stutter would catch, that my dad would get it from.
Oh, that is
I'm not a speech pathologist, but, like, it's not the wildest thing I've ever heard.
Sure.
Kids do like to mimic things that they see and hear.
Sorry, speaking of mimicking things, I just want to read that sign out loud. Oh! Oodles of oil!
I remember my mom was like really against Elmo in Sesame Street because she was like, it's like kids should not be learning to talk like that.
It's a bad role model.
I know, basically.
You don't model bad behavior. It's a pretty standard idea.
There he is.
It looks so cute.
This other one, who I think has a goat.
Yeah.
It's 2%. Ah, good afternoon, my lads. Fortune smiles upon you.
Porky Pig and Gabby Goat.
Gabby Goat.
They gotta bring Gabby Goat back.
Yeah, what happened?
Where was Gabby Goat on the Looney Tunes show?
The final entry tonight, in honor of Moonshot, we're taking a trip to the moon. This is 1902. We're talking barely 20th century. This is Georges Méliès. You'll notice it's color, but this is colorized. So I believe that this is a later, someone going back like decades later. But these same types of techniques would have still been possible, and you still see some color in early film, and they were literally painting over each cell. I think this is a later person attempting to do something that would have been era appropriate. This might have been colorized from the era, but I think my earlier idea is correct. Anyway, let's just start it. This is a silent film, so
my main context for this is I saw this in a college class of some kind where we were like watching like some classical dance and all had to like write about it, and this was the next recommended YouTube video after that, and so we all just sat in class and watched this. So we're like, yeah, look at these fucking wizards.
This is one that actually, when I did TV at my college, one of our shows was to do Mystery Science Theater 3000 over public domain stuff,
Whoa.
and we covered this.
Great idea. We should do that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I was just gonna say, so Georges Méliès was the producer and director of this. He's an early filmmaker who kind of it's almost like a style of filmmaking that didn't win out in some ways. He is a very like theatrical director in the style of like a stage play. You'll notice that there's a lot of just like flat wide shots of everyone. You know, the camera's not moving. We're not getting a lot of cuts or anything. It's basically just a stage play, and you see a lot of like mise en scène. You see a lot of like stagecraft. It's a really interesting early way to make a movie, is to essentially shoot a play with some special effects.
I remember seeing this movie as
chosen for this.
Like I remember seeing this as a little kid, and the thing is, I remember seeing it at Disney World, and it kills me because I know that cannot be a true memory. Why the fuck would they showing not? Why would they be showing not Disney stuff at Disney? Like, but that's what I remember.
What's up with these stars?
The stars have faces and they yell at you. You don't remember this from every night when the stars
from living? Out? No, you're right.
This is why I had such trouble sleeping. I just can't handle the screaming.
Yeah.
This is nothing but like Mighty Boosh coded.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Kind of is.
Sure. Well, because Mighty Boosh has the talking moon, right? Like that's probably just based on this. Honestly,
the costumes too.
Absolutely.
Y'all get on me face.
Y'all know the mushrooms on the moon?
Yeah.
I love them.
Our favorite.
Oh yeah, and the waterfalls on the moon. From the famous moon water.
I love this though, like it's so trippy. It scared the crap out of me as a kid. Like
there's some spooky parts in here if you're a kid.
This is very Alice in Wonderland a little bit.
They're like now the moon demons.
Scared.
Yeah, there we go. Moon freaks.
In fact, the reason we podcast on the moon is because they don't like the sound of people talking, so we can keep them away.
I was gonna say we all look like this guy. Oh god,
with their little claws.
That puff of smoke is very cool looking. Actually, the colors in this are like really neat to watch.
It's so weird seeing it in color.
Yeah.
It's like I like the frames where you can see clearly. They just kind of like markered with like an overlay to give it some color.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
So
Oh my God.
another film with some limited color early film is The Great Train Robbery, which is the one that ends with the cowboy outlaw who shoots you straight in the camera.
Fuck
famously.
that movie. That I thought I was about to die.
There's some they do some explosions and things that they hand paint each frame for to make it colored. And of course, you'd have to do that on each print, so it's a lot of work if you're doing it on multiple. But most prints wouldn't have had those color embellishments, I don't think. Anyway, they're back. They did it. They did their trip to the moon.
You just
Hooray!
gotta push the bullet off of the moon back onto Earth.
This is the part that's wild to me, because they're about to bring out the Moon Freak. They brought one back. And I don't think that's a good idea.
No, it's fun. They got to put them in a museum. That's what we do with things that we don't understand. We put them in museums.
They're like cosplaying for it too.
Yeah.
Like this was just like the anime con of its day.
They're just doing the "Go Little Guy Go" meme with him.
Like whenever like the Haruhi dance or whatever. That's what this was.
Just playing the OP to Malikali of Haruhi Suzumiya over this entire thing.
To you, but I'm different. If an arm tried to set me on fire, I just dodge and not die. Riff to you, but I'm different. Alright, to you, but I'm different. If an arm tried to set me on fire, I I just dodge and not die. How about that? We all wish you were here when we swept through the league. You'd never guess, kid, but we've really come far since the day that we traveled back in time like a whole week. Cause there's something that you did down there, whatever you are. And I know if the droning god somehow involves stealing bases, you will do it if they let you, though they probably won't. And I find pretty annoying when I'm trying to sleep and keep remembering the voices that came out of your combs. Yeah, tell them.
What's the bad that you just say about me, you little I graduated. Navy SEALs. Navy SEALs. Navy SEAls. And I have over 300 confirmed kills. I paid the girl over here. And I'm the dumb sniper named John U.S. Armed Forces. You are nothing to me because I'm not your target. I will wipe you out. With precision the likes of which has never been seen before. Mark my words.
Live to you, but I'm different. I write V to you, but I'm different. If an arm try to set me on fire, I just dodge and not die.
I will wipe you out.
Live to you, but I'm different. I write V to you, but I'm different. If an arm try to set me on fire, I just dodge and not die. Live to you, but I'm different. I write V to you, but I'm different. If an arm try to set me on fire, I just dodge and not die. Live to you, but I'm different. I write V to you, but I'm different. If an arm trying to set me on fire, I would simply not die.
You're listening to 97.9 The Rocket.